Series with the Fish. In Game 1, Gio is in his own backyard. He'll face Jared Cozart from Marlins Park. A much taller task facing the Nats on the road. It is September 11th. We honor our first responders. We honor all of those who work hard to protect us and our freedoms. And it's the first game of a 3-game series at Marlins Park. And the Marlins have battled the Nats this year. Season series even. Washington just about has to win every game, FP, from here on out. Kind of a somber day for baseball as we remember 14 years ago. But as always, there's a ball game to be played, and it has to be played well.
Yeah, I mean, they basically have to win every single game here on out and hope the Mets get cold. I don't think that's going to happen. But, hey, until there's an X or a Y or a Z, wherever it is by your name, you're still in this thing.
There are still things at stake from a personal standpoint. Bryce Harper could be a batting champion. He could be an MVP. And there are some really great candidates in the National League, as Harper was so great on the homestand, hitting the ball well, extra base hits all over the place.
Well, there's other candidates, but it's Bryce Harper's MVP to lose right now. I think it's him hands down when you talk about what he's done this year. Go back to Wednesday, for example. A couple of home runs, a double in between, 3 hits. He's doing it all, putting the team on his back, basically, trying to get it done offensively. But he's first in on-base percentage, first in slugging, first in batting average, first in at-bats per home run, with a home run every 12 at-bats. He's got 4 multi-home run games. You want me to keep going? He's been on base 20 times his last 21 games, where he's hitting .397. You can look at all the other names, but it's Bryce Harper who's going to be the National League MVP this year. And don't even start talking about Cespedes, who's only played 37 games in the National League.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Hard to give the MVP to a guy who may spend 50 games in one league. So Gio back in his kind of his backyard tonight here in the South Florida area. He's pitched really well against the Marlins. In fact, he's won 5 of his last 6 decisions, and he's had a decision every time in his career he's pitched against these guys.
Well, he's coming off his best out of the year, I think. 10 strikeout performance against the Braves. He was just outstanding. So for Gio Gonzalez, just kind of got to pick up where he left off tonight here against the Marlins in front of the home folk.
He has already equaled his win total from last year when he went 10-10. So he's right now 10-7 with a 3.96 ERA. Gio and the Nats, the start of another road trip in Miami. achiever in you. And by Airlines for America, where airplanes land, opportunity takes off. So honoring first responders, local police, local firefighters on this September 11th. Stirring rendition of the anthem here at Marlins Park. So here are some game notes for you. Since August 31st, the Nats have simply split 10 games. The Marlins have won 7 of their 9. The season series is tied at 6, and the Nats are only 2-4 in front of the stunning artwork of Marlins Park this year. So in the series probables, the Nats have 477 combined starts, most of those from Gio and Max Scherzer. But don't count out Miami's starter tomorrow. That, of course, is Jose Fernandez. Gio Saturday against the Braves. 6 strong innings. FP didn't give up any runs and only 2 hits.
Yeah, season high 10 strikeouts. And he snapped a personal 3-game losing streak. His 10 strikeouts were the most since he struck out 12 a year ago on September 25th. So had it going on, was aggressive in the strike zone all night long, threw 106 pitches. And it's probably the best outing he had all year. He's looking to continue that here tonight.
Jared Cozart has had some vertigo problems lately. Just back off the disabled list. He has made only 1 start since. That was against the Mets. And he didn't give up a whole lot. A run and 5 hits in 4 2/3 last time out. And 0-3 recently. So Cozart has been giving up some home runs. He was with the Houston Astros when Jason Worth got him early in 2014. Early and deep. And then after he became a Marlin, Anthony Rendon got him at Nationals Park. Career against the Nats, 0-2 with a 3.63. Washington at Miami. Straight ahead. Series. Going to be cloudy and 90s outside, 75 degrees inside Marlins Park here. The Nats are 7th in the league in hitting. They're 3rd in runs, and they are 5th in home runs. So Jason Worth back in that leadoff spot tonight. Anthony Rendon and Jason Worth, or rather Bryce Harper behind him. Escobar, Desmond, and Ramos are the middle 3. Taylor, Moore, and Gio. And Yunel Escobar, after having a fever and having to sit out the 3rd game of that Mets series, 149 hits, 43 multi-hit games. That is 6th most in the National League. He is 21 for his last 46.
I see the arsenal for Jared Cozart. The fastball average is 94. He'll 2-seam it. He'll 4-seam it. He'll cut it at times. He's really a 2-pitch guy. Even that 5% changeup you see down there on the bottom of the screen, that was before. He's just throwing fastball, curveball. In his last start, his first since coming back, as Bob mentioned, from vertigo, 4 2/3, 1 run on 5 hits, 3 strikeouts, 1 walk against the Mets last time out. Set the defense behind him tonight. Yelich, Ozuna, Suzuki, the outfield. Rojas, Prado, left side. Gordon, Bohr, right side. JT, Real Muto behind the plate.
And the Nats are going to have to create their own atmosphere. And I'm being honest about this, folks. I think right now there are maybe 1,500 people in this ballpark, if that. So the Nats are going to have to get some things going. They're going to have to feed off their own dugout. And it's a ballpark that seats 37,442. But basically, very few here on this evening. 17-year veteran Ron Culpa has the plate. The crew chief Larry Vanover's at first base. Tom Woodring at second. Vic Carapazza at third. Jason Worth steps in. 4 for 6 career against Cosart. Inside to him. We're underway right on time at 7:10. Worth is hit safely 10 of his last 11 games. 6 of those he's had more than one hit. And JT Real Muto just catches a bouncer like it was nothing. 2-0.
Just missed low.
386 out there to left center, and the wall is so high at the 418 in dead center. It is a crazy, crazy big ballpark. 3-0. And that little triangle out there to the left of the 418. I'm still waiting for an outfielder to get stuck out there and never be able to get out of there. Strike one.
Check it out. I got a telly tonight that's pretty cool. Let me see. Yep, boom. There it is, 418.
I feel like a parent who has a kid 5 years old on Christmas morning, ladies and gentlemen. You've seen only the start of it.
You might have to take that away from me. But hey, you just said we have to be our own atmosphere tonight, and the telestrator plus the Nats offense is going to be our atmosphere watch.
Nothing wrong with the offense lately, that's for sure. Anthony Rendon is next. And he sits safely in 16 of his last 18 ball games to the tune of a .319 batting average. 2 for 8 career with a home run against Jared Cosart. A lot of room right side.
This reminds me of the old Expos days. We sit on the bench and you know, most ballparks have guessed the attendance. We would literally on the bench count the attendance. And it just start in one section when we were bored, and it would take 2 or 3 innings.
Yeah. Ooh, Rendon had a pitch up and hit it back off to the right to the screen. No balls, 2 strikes.
You just get the pitch counter clicker and you put it in one hand and you just go 1, 2, 3. I think you were close on the 1500.
Yeah, the Marlins are 28th in Major League Baseball in attendance. Cleveland and Tampa Bay lower, so obviously they're last in the National League. 21,784 the announced attendance average, and a little bit upstairs to Anthony Rendon, 1 and 2. Breaking ball hit down to third. Martin Prado on the run. Plays it well. Worth to second on the first out of the game. That'll bring in Bryce Harper, who is known for doing big time damage in this series. Our friend Tom Kohler is not pitching against the Nats this weekend. He might be the happiest guy in South Florida about that. Bryce hasn't faced Cosart much. 0 for 1 career with a pair of walks.
Well, he can make it 3. 109 walks. This should be 110.
First base open.
Yeah, we'll see.
Right off the glove of Real Muto. And the ball hits the grass and kind of deadens there. And Jason Worth to third base with 1 out. Odd looking play by the catcher.
I don't think he got crossed up because they didn't really discuss the signs after. It just looked like it went right through his glove. Did it go through his glove? No. I mean, it looked like it. Well, this changes it a little bit for Bryce. He might be able to expand his zone right here and drive in a run. We'll see.
Yeah. RBI number 86 sitting over there at third base. in the batting race. Harper starts the night 7 points up on Buster Posey and a full 8 points up on D. Gordon, who will be leading off for the Marlins bottom of the first. .336 with an on-base percentage. It's amazing at .467.
We showed a lot of guys for MVP in the Open today. The one guy we left out is Nolan Arenado, and he would get my second place vote behind Bryce. 38 home runs, 108 RBI, and you're saying FP plays in Coors Field. Well, 20 of his 38 home runs have been hit on the road, only 18 at Coors Field. So even though he's on a last place team, I think when you're on a last place team, if there's no clear-cut candidate, that's when you start to think about somebody like Arenado.
Well, that's what happened one year when Andre Dawson on the last place Cubs was the only guy ever to do that, win an MVP on a team finishing last.
Well, there probably wasn't a clear-cut candidate, but in my mind, it's Bryce's. I mean, we've got to see him play all year. The numbers bear that out, plus what he's done for this ball club. It's a no-brainer.
3 balls, 1 strike, and time given.
And don't forget the third base that guy plays in Colorado, too. Gold Glove quality. So, I mean, if he was on a winning team, he would be giving Bryce a little bit of run, in my mind.
Harper can't even get a chance for a swing there. So 2 walks, around a pass ball and a grounder. First and third, 1 out with Escobar coming up. So there's the batting race as we see it now, and Yunel Escobar in that .320 range. He's up to 4th in the league on those numbers, brought to you by STG. So Escobar steps in looking for hit number 150. One multi-hit game behind Bryce with 43.
See the cut on that fastball at 95.
So Escobar hitting .466 over his last 12 games, 21 for 46. Short lead by Harper at first. Escobar to right, and it's out of play.
You know, while I'm thinking of it, I think the Major League Baseball does a nice job of giving the Nats the 4th of July game every year. I think either Washington or DC should have the 9/11 game every single year. It should be in either Citi Field or at Nats Park, like it has been in the past.
Escobar pops it up. Nothing Jason Worth can do at third. That's 2 outs. Of course, the Mets are in Philadelphia. The Yankees are home, so there is one New York team at home tonight.
I remember that one year the Nats played a day game on 9/11 at Nats Park. Then we got on the train and went to New York.
Yeah.
And we were fortunate enough to spend 9/11 in both cities. But I think one should host a game every single year on this day.
Yeah, this is the first time in a while the Nats have not been at Citi Field for that. Here's Ian Desmond now. 2 on, 2 out. 2 for 6 career, 3 walks against Jason Cosart. Looking for his 52nd RBI.
Tell you what, if a Nats player squares one up tonight, it's going to be really loud. The acoustics in here are going to be fantastic on bat cracks.
Yeah. 2-0 pitch. Now it's 3-0. .27 RBIs out of his 51 since the All-Star break. Cosart career is 15 and 16. 50th career start tonight. Dan Jennings running the Marlins right now. Their record is 59 and 81. They're 3.5 games ahead of Atlanta in third place. Desmond will hit that one to some empty seats on the mezzanine. Now the count's 3-2.
The guy going for the foul ball's got to pace himself, because that's a long way. I mean, he's jogging out there.
I've never heard that before.
I mean, he took him. He still hasn't got it.
It's up there somewhere.
It's a 10K to get a foul ball here tonight.
Desmond on 96 upstairs, can't get to it. That's a couple of walks, a pass ball couldn't bring Jason Worth home. Some of Florida's finest taking care of us here in Miami tonight. We salute them. No score after a half inning. And 39. Miami 5th in the league in batting average, but only the Braves have hit fewer home runs and scored fewer runs. Martin Prado, though, always rough on the Nats. When he bats third, he's hitting .357. He's at .284 overall. A career .306 hitter against Washington with 44 RBIs. Adeiny Echeverria not in their lineup tonight, another Nat killer. And here's Gio, 6-3 career against Miami.
That fastball's been averaging 92 miles an hour out of the hand of Gio Gonzalez this year. He's coming off a season-high 10 strikeout performance against the Braves last time out, 8-2 victory. Gave up just 2 hits, 6 shutout innings, and walked 4.
D. Gordon leads the National League in hits with 172. In fact, that's the most in all of baseball. .337 at home. And against Gio, he's been good. Not that many at bats, but he's 3 for 6. Escobar well onto the grass at third. Bouncer base hit. So Bryce Harper walks his first time, and Gordon singles. Now another left-handed batter for Gio and Christian Yelich.
Very simple approach by D. Gordon. I think what he's done so much better this year is keep the ball out of the air. You remember when he was a Dodger, he had a lot of fly ball out. Still a good hitter as a Dodger, but it's just taken his whole game to a different level here. 50 stolen bases on the year, 173 hits. And I have no idea why the Dodgers got rid of him.
That's a baffler, isn't it?
Yeah. They've had trouble at second base all year this year.
And the Marlins making that deal with the Dodgers involving Dan Herron and Miguel Rojas. And a bouncer up the middle. Rendon, Desmond, and a 4-6-3. Christian Yelich not running very well. He's had some knee problems over the last year or so, and He's just not able to get it down the line like he did earlier.
No, he's above average runner, and you can just tell he's hurting right here. And he's a guy that plays hard and really wasn't running to first base. He's got definitely something going on. He's had a back. Set the defense for the Nats behind Gio tonight. Worth, Taylor, Harper, your outfield. Desmond Escobar left side. Rendon, Moore right side. Wilson Ramos behind the plate. Tyler Moore playing first. Clint Robinson on paternity leave. And Ryan Zimmerman's oblique still barking.
Yeah, those can stick around, as everybody knows. So here's Prado. 3 for 14 career against Gio. Gio working quickly here in the first inning. I like his pace.
Well, you could probably tell him.
Gio, we like it. I was too late. He was already into his delivery.
Well,
glad I didn't make him fall off the mound or something.
Don't disrupt him.
2 balls, 1 strike. Tailing away and a little bit low, ball 3. Martin Prado hitting .381 his last 16 games. Nope. Ron Culpa thought about it for a moment. It's ball 4, so 2 of the first 3 batters have reached, and it'll be lefty-lefty with Justin Bour. More numbers from STG as we check out Gio. Home runs per 9 innings pitched. Gio's only given up 7 home runs all year. Now don't hang this guy a breaking ball. He can hit it a mile. But Tyson Ross, Jake Arrieta, Garrett Cole, others on that list. Strike call. Keeping it away from the pull side. Strong young man, Justin Bour, 16 home runs.
A nice season for the Marlins. 53 RBI, 255 average.
Yeah, and he hasn't played a full schedule either. Tonight's Miami's 141st game, and Bour has played in 107. Virginia native who went to George Mason. The count 1-1. Westfield High School in Chantilly. Strike 2.
Start that curveball behind him like Gio does against lefties a lot. He's got him. He breaks off one of those nasty ones.
And there it is. 79 with lots of dip to it. Gio Gonzalez, base hit, not a problem thanks to the double play ball. Then he strands the man who walks with a nasty hook.
Frank Howard, Pudge, Steven Strasburg, Jason Worth,
Dimitri
Young, and soon Look at this one, Jordan Zimmerman. I think it would have been great if they had the Gumby shoulders that he had right before he put his arms in the air. Remember when he thought Yelich hit it in the gap and he was dejected? And then he went to that pose right there. So first 25,000 fans, you get that bobblehead. Commemorating his no-hitter. That's presented by Geico. Visit Nationals.com to purchase your tickets today.
Come on, Marlins. I know he pitched a no-hitter against you, but he should be in there. So here's Wilson Ramos, top of the second.
Well, he can't be in there because we haven't given him away yet.
I know, but they make those up.
That's true.
You know
they
that.
could.
Wilson having what you would call a very unusual stretch. Hit that grand slam the other day, but he's won for his last 23. His batting average down to 237. He was up there around 250 for a while. Had a rough series against the Mets with his one hit, that bases clearing blast. 1 for 3 career against Jared Kosar. First inning for Kosar, 23 pitches. Just 10 were strikes. The Nats let him off the hook. By the way, the Mets are in Atlanta tonight. That's where they got their win last night that put the Nats 7.5 back. Cubs are playing the Phillies. And Ramos a bouncer, and it'll take a little bounce off the turf and go right up the middle. 3 base runners of the first 6 men to come up.
Oh, there goes the no-hitter. Wilson Ramos back up the middle. Breaks up that cold spell you were talking about. Little topspin right off the dirt in front of the plate. And the first knock of the night for your Nats.
Clean single. Here's Michael A. Taylor. '81 on the big hook.
As a hitter, you'd like to face guys that only have 2 pitches. I mean, he doesn't have to think about a whole lot up there. You're either getting a fastball or you're getting a curveball. There's no slider, there's no change, there's no split.
Prado was back, not all the way back. And the count 1-1. Right now, even with the bag. They tend to bunch hitters with power toward the gaps here, because down the line's a double anyway. It's 344 left field, 335 right field. But if you hit a gapper, you're flirting with 3 bags in a ballpark like this.
That's pretty big gaps here.
Look at that. Tried to get him with the fastball, missing low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Taylor, inside out swing, and to the left of Justin Bour, foul. And the big hook gets Michael A. Taylor. That's been the big problem pitch for him this year in striking out 134 times. Time for you to tweet that strongest fan photo you can come up with. Use hashtag NatsCouchCam. You might see yourself in an upcoming Masson telecast brought to you by T-Mobile. Number 8 spot tonight for Tyler Moore. Goes up hacking, hits it well. Ozuna just a couple of steps back. Two down with Gio coming up.
Pretty good swing by Tyler Moore. Gave it a ride, but Ozuna's already playing him pretty deep.
He was. And one of those few nights for Tyler when he knows he's going to get 3 or 4 at bats. And as a starter, he has 19 RBIs in 29 games this year. So here's Gio, 3 for 35 on the year. It's getting late for continuing that home run every year streak he's on for the last 3 years.
It is. Does he have a start in Philly coming up?
Maybe.
I think he got the last game in Philly. That's his chance. Here, forget about it.
Ball will be flying for Gio there. Hopefully when he's hitting. In the air to right, approaching the line, Ichiro, and not reachable. He's even fun to watch going for a foul ball.
Yeah, he almost made it reachable. Wasn't it Major League Baseball in Japan where the guy got up on the left field wall all the way to the top and almost stood on the fence and robbed the home run? That's one of my favorite catches ever. Ichiro was thinking about doing that.
Counts 2-2. We'll see Ichiro bat in the bottom of the second. He'll be up third. Two. Gio stays alive. Cozart, 25 years of age. Texas guy out of Clear Creek High School. Originally drafted by the Phillies, went to the Astros in the Hunter Pence deal, and then over here last year in a multiplayer deal. Miguel Rojas is at short tonight, takes care of that. Nats have had 3 runners. They have stranded all 3. Some support on the road. I wonder if they might be relatives of a guy named Taylor. We'll check it out.
Me, Bob, and FP talked in the open about Bryce Harper's MVP candidacy, and I talked to Max Scherzer about Harper's case for MVP earlier today, asking him if he thinks Harp should win the award. Max thought about it for a couple seconds and said, yeah, I do. I asked Max how he's seen Harper progress over the course of the season. That's something that Scherzer has pointed out a few times this year, that he's seen Harper grow even from spring training to now. I asked him how. He said it's his patience, something that we've talked about a lot this year, that Harper's not always trying to crush the ball, that he's waiting for his pitch, and if they don't give it to him, then he's taking his walks. Max also said the scary part about Bryce is that he's only going to get better. He sees the next step in Harper's evolution as a hitter being that he becomes a little more of an RBI guy, learning how to maybe drive in that run from third with less than 2 outs a little bit better. He thinks Bryce is a fantastic player, thinks he should win the MVP, and thinks he's only going to get better.
When you're talking cars, you're talking Coons. Thanks, Dan, with our Coons.com sideline report. I remember something you said about the relationship between those two months ago, that Max was explaining to Bryce how he might pitch Bryce, and Bryce gains a better understanding of how guys might attack him. And you have to think that that has helped him coming from a guy like Max Scherzer.
Yeah, I mean, they've had talks. He said, I wouldn't throw you a fastball 3-1. Why would I throw you a fastball 3-1? You got to start looking for off-speed pitches in hitters' counts because they're not just going to groove stuff to you. And that's how he's kind of changed his mentality of sitting on pitches and counts this year. And it's helped improve his eye. It's helped improve his patience. And he's had, you know, a game plan every single at-bat. He hasn't given away at-bats this year by trying to do too much like he has in the past. And that's why the average is sitting at 336. I mean, and that's what you do as a player, Carp. You pick pitchers' brains. How would you pitch to me? What would you do here? Hitters will tell pitchers, well, I would sit on this off of you because you always throw it 2-0. I stand behind you every night. And that's how you get better as a player, by talking to his teammates with pitchers and hitters. Good question.
Yeah, it's great stuff. Bryce waiting as Marcelo Zuna is the leadoff guy here, second inning. And a high fly ball, right side. It won't reach Bryce, but Anthony Rendona's there for the first out.
Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one this Friday night, to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game. That's brought to you by Miller Lite on a Friday night.
Gio Gonzalez, first inning, 15 pitches, 6 strikes.
That boy's sleeping. Look at this. Wilson has to go get the bat. It's on the first base line.
Come on. September 11th here.
Let's go. Tighten it up, Meat.
Almost halfway through the 6th month.
He's going to get crushed in the dugout right now. Watch this.
JT Realmuto, the young catcher, hitting 249, 9 homers, 41 RBIs. Bright future for him here. He's only 24.
I don't know how bright the Marlins' future is. Did you see the Miami Herald today? They ranked the minor league systems, and the Marlins was second to last in winning percentage based on all their ball clubs. And they were talking about how they only have one prospect in the top 200 in minor league baseball. And then based on, you know, firing a manager, your GM's the manager, Giancarlo Stanton signed a long-term deal. I mean, it's going to be rough for these guys to get better in a hurry, I think.
Yeah, they have traded away some of their young talent to get some of the major league guys over here, like Gordon and Prado.
I mean, it's kind of a mess, to be as honest as you could possibly be. And
got him with a fastball up in the zone. Only the Seattle Mariners were below the Marlins. You know, and we got to be objective and honest about things. The Nats didn't exactly have a high rating either at number 24, but that doesn't necessarily reflect the individual talent you have in your minor league organization.
That was just based on winning percentage alone. But then the article went on to say about the prospects in their system. So if you're that guy right there and you sign that deal, you got a lot of money coming, but he wants to win. And if you're a free agent, would this be on your list with everything that's transpired over the last, 5 years here, getting back to Ozzie Guillen as the manager?
I would say no.
Signing all the players, then getting rid of them at the All-Star break?
Ichiro takes a strike. He has 83 hits this year. 2,927, so is 73 away from 3,000. And if it's not here, there has to be a ball club that could be interested in a guy who's 42, still in great shape, has not made an error in the outfield this year, and can still get you some base hits. 2-1 pitch.
Yeah, he's in a big time scuffle right now. I think he's 4 for his last 42 and 0 for his last 13.
Yeah, that's really big for him. Hits it in the air. Hits it pretty far, but that's a graveyard for fly balls out there. Michael A. Taylor, and for Gio, it's a 1-2-3 second. Top of the order for the Nats in a scoreless game. Game 1 of the weekend series. Soriano got his 20th outfield assist of the season. So over 40 homers, he had 46, over 30 steals, and 20 outfield assists. That was unusual because he was an infielder. He had a sidearm throw from left field. Everybody kept running on him. And there's the famous Soriano leg cock. And then boom, at spacious RFK Stadium, even off a future Hall of Famer, hitting home runs. Alfonso Soriano. Moment in history brought to you by University of Maryland University College. And of course then the Nats made him an offer, but he signed that big deal with the Cubs.
I mean, back when third base coaches were dumb is what I got out of that. 20 assists. I mean, somebody's got to stop him after about 15. Like, hey, you can't run on this guy. He's throwing people out.
He was throwing guys at second, at third, and at home. They kept running. Jason Worth puts a charge into that one, but it's going to fall into the gap for the center fielder Ozuna. Pretty good off the bat. Ozuna having a little conversation. He really called Ichiro off of that. Taking command out there, 1 out, 3rd inning.
Yeah, he went all the way to right field for this one. Look at the route. He went back, then he went over, then he calls Ichiro off. If you're the center fielder, you call it. It's your ball.
Here's Anthony Rendon, pulled a bouncer to third base. First time up. And the rolling breaking ball finds its way to the outside edge. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
That's a knuckle curveball. Watch, you can see the finger off the grip. He sticks his index finger in the baseball, extends the middle finger. He gets that downward tilt break.
Fastball, and Rendon late for it.
Seems like that natural cut of the Cozart fastball is giving the right-hander some difficulty here early.
How many guys did you face 15, 20 years ago who were throwing the cutter? Were there that many around?
Yeah, but not as much as now.
Okay.
Still have nightmares about that pitch. That's why I know. It looks like a fastball, and it just has that subtle movement at the end. And if you're lefty facing a righty, it's right on your hands.
3-2. Rendon reaches to stay alive. Anybody stand out from back at that time?
Al Leiter, he had the best hitter I'd ever seen. Through 95, 97 from the left side and just run it all over you. And there's nothing you can do. You'd be 0-2, foul 2 balls off the tarp down the left field line, and then you break your bat on a grounder to third. And then, of course, Mariano Rivera was the best one I've ever seen.
Rendon to the left side. It's cut off by Prado. Got rid of it in a hurry for the second out. 5 in a row for Cozart, and 7 of the last 8 retired. So more from STG on Bryce. Came in at 336, still there after a base on balls, his 110th. On base percentage went up 1 point. Wins above replacement. That's pretty interesting. Almost 9 on the year. And he hits a homer every 12 and a half at bats.
I'm surprised that number's not higher, even though it's the highest in the National League. Just based on all the walks.
Yeah.
Meaning he doesn't have a whole lot of at-bats.
Oh, 1 pitch. Arenado 38 homers. Carlos Gonzalez 37. Bryce 36. Todd Frazier, who's had a really big home run outage since the home run derby, at 32. Those are the 4 guys in the National League who've hit 30 or more.
Smartest move he's made all year. What is it? Not entering the home run derby.
To the home run derby.
He's going to get another trophy, and it's not the home run derby.
Harper couldn't wait long enough for that one. And the Easter egg hunt is on. 2-2.
I think he called it perfect. Couldn't stay back long enough. Stayed through it, but there was a little bit of break toward him on that, and that made him pull it foul. If that just goes straight down, he might have been able to keep it fair, even though he's out front.
2-2 pitch now. Got him. 94 to the outer half. And the Nats go 1-2-3. Cozart pitching well. No score early. First pitch, bottom of the third. Gio drills one in there to Miguel Rojas. One of the players who came over with D. Gordon and Dan Herron last December. 26-year-old infielder from Venezuela. And out to the gap in right center for Michael A. Taylor. Next 5. Tanner Roark goes for the Nats tomorrow night here against Jose Fernandez, who returns from the DL and a strained biceps. Max Scherzer and Brad Hand, the lefty, on Sunday. Then it's on to Philadelphia. 3 night games on Masson 2, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, before the Nats come home. For that last homestand, it'll be an extended one. Cosart goes up swinging. 1 for 14 as a batter this year. In his career, 5 for 35. Final homestand, the Marlins for 3. The Orioles for 3, and then the Phillies after a day off with 3. So, not counting tonight, Nats still have 6 left with these guys. And they were just at Nationals Park a couple of weeks ago. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Matt Williams' ball club simply has to go out and try to get in a position to win every single time. Who's got the call here? Rice. 2 outs.
They have to do better to get in the position to win. They have to win every single game.
Yeah, the math just doesn't give you a lot of hope. The Mets would, if they play 500, the Nats can afford like 3 losses the rest of the way. Go out and play 1 inning, 1 at bat, 1 game at a time. Do what you can. Up and in to D. Gordon. And Tyler Moore on the move in from first. Escobar's already only about 80 feet from home plate.
I just think, you know, more so the deficit is the punches to the gut that they all just took last week, or this week in D.C. against the Mets. It's not that they lost games, it's how they lost them. And as a former player, I don't know how you bounce back from that. I really don't. I mean, you really got to dig deep and find something that maybe you didn't even know was there to rebound from what happened at home. And that's just as honest as I can be from a player's standpoint. It's not knocking anybody. It's just, if you lose some games, Carp, you lose some games. It's baseball.
Right.
But the way they lost those games at home to the team they're chasing late, nothing will have a clubhouse more quiet than late inning losses. Those are the ones that are really a punch to the gut, especially when they're big games. So how they rebound from this, I don't know. I can't sit here and say they're going to, because it's going to be hard.
Anthony Rendon, that completes a 1-2-3, and Gio is pitching well. So that is 7 in a row for him, and 8 of his last 9. On to the middle innings. who lost loved ones on September 11th, 2001. We pay tribute to them and to the men and women who serve our country as we honor a pledge made 14 years ago today we shall not forget. On every base in every ballpark tonight. Escobar goes up swinging, top of the fourth underway. This will be close and unreachable.
Good hustle by D. Gordon.
And he went sliding in there and took a shot against that wall.
Now you got to like the effort if you're Dan Jennings, and even if you're playing on the same field with D. Gordon. That's how you play the game. It's not always about making the play. It's about showing everybody that you're playing hard. And the effort was fantastic.
Escobar pop up to the right side. First time up, caught by D. Gordon. Rips one left side, base hit. 150 hits for Yunel Escobar. One behind Bryce Harper. Leadoff man aboard for the third time in 4 innings.
You saw the stat we just showed, 373 when leading off an inning, and that's going to go up obviously with a base hit here in the 4th.
I mean, bat him anywhere. Anywhere from 1st through 5th, and all he does is get hits. In Desmond, he went up ripping and hits one right below us.
Yeah, we got a foul ball this year.
And we were asked before the game if we've gotten any foul balls up here. I said no, because John Carlo's been hurt.
Just haven't got
he could get him up here easily. Big rolling breaking ball. That's cut off by Prado, and it turns into a 5-4-3 double play. Cozart getting some ground balls when he needs them tonight. Bases empty, 2 outs for Wilson Ramos, who bounced one up the middle, leading off the second. So both pitchers on pretty good runs right here. 6 of the last 7, actually 7 of the last 8 now for Cozart. And Gio 8 of his last 9. Retired. Breaking ball, and Ramos hammers that ball to left. Well, needing to collect some hits to get out of that funk we were talking about, and he's 2 for 2 tonight. That'll bring in Michael A. Taylor with 2 down.
Yeah, pretty good swing right here by Wilson. Got a curveball, kind of right down the middle. Stayed back nice, slapped it to left. 2 for 2.
Michael A. Taylor is from just north of here, up in Fort Lauderdale. Westminster Academy. Opened a lot of eyes around South Florida when he hit .447 his senior year. That's made him a 6th rounder that year. 171 players were chosen before Michael A. Taylor.
I mean, he's just fooling around this year with 14 and 61. I mean, imagine 600 at bats if he stays healthy and keeps progressing like he has this year. 14 home runs, 15 stolen bases, 61 RBI.
First at bat tonight was his 400th.
Yeah, he's not on his legs. You see that swing right there? His knee is barking. It's some kind of swollen. Every time he just touches the grass with it, it's killing him. But watch the balance after the swing. Legs are not underneath him. Kind of comes off, winces a little bit. Trying to chief it out, but got to be killing him.
Counts in his favor now. Cozart got him on a breaking ball down and away first time. And a late swing there. That's it for the Nats. 4 Ks for Cozart in 4 innings. He's given Washington 3 hits, 2 walks, but no score. That got him out of a first inning situation when he gave up a hit and a walk. And then he's been bolting that fastball. Gio, a couple of strikeouts early. So back live now, bottom of the 4th inning with Christian Yelich leading off. First 3 innings, 41 pitches, 22 strikes. Seven in a row retired since the first inning walk to Martin Prado. Check swing and a high bouncer. It's fair ball, and Yelich never ran. I don't know if he assumed it was going to be called foul or what. He didn't try to sell it that the ball hit his foot. He just stood there and he's out.
Where did it hit, though? I think it hit in fair territory. I just don't think he knew where the ball was. So a little excuse me swing by Christian Yelich, and the ball hits right on the plate. And watch him look for it. That's the key. He didn't know where it is. I think he's looking at his dugout. Where is it? Oh, there it is. He still didn't have it at the end.
Yeah, big bounce, had to hit the plate like that. So Martin Prado in there. Gio throws him a couple of frisbees, and that one was tracking his back leg.
He's held down to this one a little bit too long.
Two and one.
Pretty good pitch. wanted that one. You could see him right now talking to himself after that. He thought he darted the target, maybe a little away.
Tough hitter when you fall behind this guy. And there's another fastball out there. And he's walked Martin Prado, Gio has, for the second time. Prado doesn't walk that much, only 27 times all year before tonight.
Yeah, that fourth pitch close, that one not close.
On the Mercedes-Benz pitch track, 1 on, 1 out. Justin Bour. This is the part of the lineup where the absence of Giancarlo Stanton makes all the difference in the world pitching to this ball club.
Gio struck Bour out first time up on that big curveball. Trying to get ahead with the fastball. 78% heaters tonight for Gio.
Ramos sets right back up in there. Pretty good pitch. Had Bour biting. 1 and 2.
I mean, that bat looks like a toothpick in his hands, doesn't it?
He's a big boy.
Seriously.
Great pick by Ramos there to keep Prado at first base.
A little quick on that curveball, kind of cut it off. You saw him tell himself, stay through it. Like you said, good stop by Wilson.
Gio got him with a big hook first time. Bour serves that one to the left side, and he'll have to go for another bat.
Yeah, new toothpick.
Justin Bour, they list him at 6'4", 250. Originally drafted by the Cubs out of George Mason. He's a minor leaguer for 6 years, and then the Marlins got a hold of him in 2014 in the Rule 5 draft prior to the 14 season.
Gio can start that curveball behind him again. He's got to be thinking about it after that was the game plan first time up, well executed.
There it is, but that one was up. And he hit it hard to right, and Prado easily goes to third. So the difference in elevation on those two curveballs is big.
Well, that as a hitter, too, if you strike out on a pitch your first time up, you're not necessarily sitting on it your second time up. It's definitely in your head. It looked like Justin Bour had a better game plan on this curveball. He kept his hands back, stayed through it. Just a little roll of the wrist shows you how strong Justin Bour is in the bullet through the infield. Marlins in business here in the fourth, first and third, 1 out.
He continues to hit well against the Nats, around .325 career. Now the dangerous Marcell Ozuna. Bouncing ball. They'll have to hurry. Ozuna can run. No chance at first, and it's 1-0 Miami. He just didn't hit it hard enough.
Well, I guess the bat kind of died a hero. The broken bat chopper to shortstop. No way he can turn the double play. The 1 out walk.
RBI, right?
Yeah, absolutely. The 1 out walk comes back to hurt Gio.
JT Rio Muto, the catcher now. Ozuna is fast. Hasn't really developed base running or stealing ability at the big league level. He's a raw kid over there with a lot of power, a lot of speed. Turned down a big offer from the Marlins before the season. They offered him a lot of money on a multi-year deal. Decided not to sign it. And then he ended up in the minor leagues for a while before getting back up to the Miami ball club. He was big time scuffling, batting average right now at about 250.
If you signed me to a 2-month deal, I would be on it. I don't understand players turning down deals, but hey,
this
that's
guy's
their
24.
prerogative. They think they can make more.
Yeah, that's quite a commitment by the organization to a 24-year-old kid. I think they envisioned him somewhere around Stanton in that lineup, behind him for some protection because of his power. Hit 23 home runs last year, drove in 85. Big breaking ball. Doesn't matter if you're a righty or a lefty on that one. And Gio gets the K, but the walk costing him a run. So after 4 innings, with more Gio and Worth coming up, 1-0 Miami.
Five start. First 25,000 fans, you receive a Calvin Coolidge bobblehead that's presented by the White House Historical Association. Visit nationals.com to purchase your tickets today. They want one. For sure. Lefty. Brought his picker. I love it. Picker in one hand, cell phone in the other.
On to the top of the 5th inning. Tyler Moore, Gio Gonzalez, Jason Worth. And he drops a nice curveball in there.
Calvin Coolidge's wife Grace was the baseball fan of the family.
I heard you say that the other day.
She was a fanatic. He wasn't so much, but he would go because of her, which I think he's being a good husband, right? She wants to go to a ball game, he's going to go too. And then he'd go because he was the president. So those are my 2 new rules as commissioner. The president has to throw out the first pitch every year in D.C. on opening day from now on. Okay. And there has to be a game in New York or Washington on 9/11. And then I'll just leave the rest of it.
Great.
You can have all the stopwatches and clocks everywhere and do all that. That's all I want. You in? You like it?
And then could I lobby with you for 30-man rosters in September?
Yeah.
Tyler Moore touches one to left field, but Yelich is there to grab it. Hey, I want to tell you about something that goes on every year at Nationals Park while we're out of town. It is the Columbia Lighthouse for the Blind 5th annual Light the Way 5K run in the morning. If you want to run for a great cause, show up at Nationals Park before 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. The run goes away from the ballpark. The final lap is around the main concourse in the ballpark. And the Columbia Lighthouse for the Blind provides assistance to people of all ages who are blind, low vision, and deafblind in the Washington, D.C. region. We invite you to participate. There's also a kids' fun run for youngsters ages 3 through 8. So get up a little early tomorrow, go for a run, be at Nationals Park by 8 o'clock. They'll sign you up because they have a lot of people registered, a couple of thousand, and they want you to walk up and then go for a run for Columbia Lighthouse for the Blind. 2 balls and 1 strike to Gio Gonzalez, 5th inning. Big curveball outside, and Gio no way to reach it. Ball 3.
Well, this might have to be a you got to bat do something night for Gio.
He takes the walk with 1 out. 3rd walk for the Achiever and PNC Bank with a minor league report. Taylor Jordan reports to the Nats today for another right arm in that bullpen. So 19 starts with the Chiefs, 5-6 with the ERA, much better than the record would indicate. The league only hit .235 against him, and he had 61 strikeouts. Taylor Jordan, we welcome him back to the big club.
Must be in the front row.
Yeah, right in the middle there. 4th from the left, Taylor.
Those colors don't go. The red, the blue, the green, the lime. It's too much.
Is that security guy telling them to put their feet down off the wall?
I don't think so. I think
It's where they live.
He's protecting them from the hostile masses in the Clevelander.
Okay. I believe the hostile part. There's Worth on a pitch to the inside edge. It seems to me that Ron Culpa's strike zone to righties and to left-handed hitters tonight is the inner edge, not the outer. And I think we saw that on those fastballs from Gio last inning and then earlier in the game. So in the kitchen, you have to protect, and Worth asking for time.
Well, that cutter he's throwing is more like a slider at 94, 95. I mean, if you can see that much movement on television of the cutter, imagine what those guys are seeing down there. The one that Michael Taylor struck out on just took off. I mean, it was down the middle and in the left-handed batter's box in a matter of 2 feet.
0-2, and Worth will serve it right through the infield. Gio stops at second. 2 on, 1 out. How many times do you see a well-pitched game disrupted by the inability to get out the opposing pitcher?
But yeah, you can't walk the opposing pitcher, but that's a nice piece of covering the outer half by Jason Worth. That pitch right on the black, so Jason Worth in kind of a protective defensive mode right there. Gets himself a base hit. Nice piece of hit.
Worth has hit safely in 11 of his last 12. Anthony Rendon, 2 ground balls to third tonight. So Cosart has had him pulling it on the ground twice.
There's a lot of hair missing. Tighten that beard up a little bit. He had that long goat going. Trim that up. Looks like his hair is shorter. Looks like a different guy, doesn't he?
I like it.
And Gio.
There's a lot of hair on the bases.
Yeah, he's talking to Gio today. You remember he used to get his hair cut before every start, and he told me that his accountant told him he's saving so much money every year, or this year especially, by not getting haircuts every start. That he actually has some income to play with.
Okay.
I think he was being a little facetious when he was telling me that, but he was legit talking to me before the game on how much money he's saving a year this year by not cutting his hair every
he's
start.
going to win more games than he did last year.
I like the long hair.
So the money and the W's. Looking for number 11 tonight. He won 10 all of last year. And a ball lifted to right. It'll move Ichiro back. Gio goes halfway and then comes back to second. 2 outs.
I mean, you think about it for a second. Since there's not a whole lot to talk about right now.
36 starts, 35 starts?
Every 5 days.
Yeah.
And the way big leaguers tip, so just say $100 a haircut.
Okay.
You know, they're big leaguers. They got money.
It's 30.
So
over $3,000.
That's just during the season. Who knows in the off season how many times he gets it cut? So save a lot of money.
You know what? Somebody.
He's saving a lot of money.
Somebody trying to get the nomination right now just heard this conversation. And in the next debate, they're going to tell everybody to get fewer haircuts to improve the economy.
He's saving tons. He hasn't cut his hair in like 3 years.
Let's see which one, Democrat or Republican, jumps on that first.
I don't know how you turned haircuts into politics, but you just did.
Hey, they're looking for any edge they can get right now. Here's Harper with a walk and a strikeout, and Bryce with a big opportunity here in the 5th inning to tie the game or give the Nats the lead. Big breaking ball, and again Bryce out ahead of him. Probably a split second from a home run his last time on that loud foul ball. Then he took the fastball to strike out.
Be interesting to see at what stage of Bryce Harper's career people just quit pitching to him. Now, we've seen it from time to time here and there this year, but I'm talking about on a consistent basis where they're just, this guy's not beating us. And it seems like some teams do, some teams don't. Some teams do in certain situations.
Is that a changeup?
Yeah.
Straight change. He got it to the knees, outer edge. Something we haven't seen tonight. Nissan will track it.
It's a perfect pitch if you're Cozart. If you're Bryce Harper, you probably think that was a ball.
Hard breaking ball down and in. Bryce Harper 0 for 2. The Nats strand 2 more. They've left 6. And we're halfway through at Marlins Park with the home team by a run. And his dad, who's a first responder, NYPD. Well, guess who surprises him during the interview? His dad, Rolf. Tom's so proud of his father, one of the first at Ground Zero 14 years ago today as part of the New York Police Department.
That was cool.
Very nice. That and dads surprising their kids coming back from overseas at school or at events. Things you never get tired of seeing. Ichiro tries to guide one up the middle. He does, but Gio's glove was right there. And with more on everything going around today, here's Dan.
Bob, some fans might know or might forget that Matt Williams was on the Arizona Diamondbacks team that played the Yankees in the World Series in 2001, just weeks after 9/11. I asked him about that experience earlier today and what stands out in his mind now 14 years later. He said it was a trip to Ground Zero that the entire Diamondbacks team made. Talked with a lot of first responders and said it was just a really moving experience. I asked him if it was weird to play baseball in New York so soon after that event. He said he was just happy to give folks something else to think about 3 hours a day.
I played in the first playoff game in Yankee Stadium with the A's after 9/11, and one of the most touching things or moving things I've ever seen on a baseball field is they had the flag from Ground Zero as the American flag in center field.
Awesome.
And they had Port Authority, NYPD, NYFD all around the semicircle behind home plate. And the last guy was a firefighter from Ground Zero, and he had dust all over his uniform, and Joe Torre came out and hugged him, and there wasn't a dry eye in the house. It was unbelievable.
Base hit to right, Miguel Rojas, the shortstop. So the Marlins get their third base hit of the night. They got one hit in scoring one run last inning.
You were involved in the first TV game after 9/11, correct?
Yeah, strictly luck of the draw on my part. ESPN televised the first game after 9/11, which was on the following Monday night. The Milwaukee Brewers were at St. Louis. I did the game with Rick Sutcliffe, and that was the night Jack Buck wrote and recited the memorable poem that he did about should we be here? Yes, we should. And getting back to baseball, as you say, after one of the darkest days in the history of our country. I thought baseball did the right thing by shutting down for almost a week, and then the right thing by bringing it back when they did. Flags on the ball caps tonight.
I like it.
Cosart does not have a sack bunt this year. He has 3 in his career. Shows no signs of squaring around. Pardon me, Zach Cosart, or rather Jared Cosart is out of the game, and that's Casey McGee. They've been warming up Kyle Barraclaw. So they're going with the big power hitter here, Casey McGee, who really hasn't hit for a whole lot of power the last couple of years. Started the year with the Giants. They released him July 8th, and then the Marlins re-signed him 2 days later. So Casey McGee. Got him looking. We have a very unhappy hitter here.
Well, I think you could hear what was going on, and like you accurately pointed out last inning, Carp, that's the side of the plate that's been open all night, whether you're left-handed or right-handed. Ron Culpa is seeing that side of the plate. Casey McGee disagreed.
See those fastballs out there, no strikes. Those are pitches that have a chance to catch. When we say outside corner, we're talking about the front corner of the plate that a pitch can nick him as it goes by on its way outside or in. Just not getting that call tonight either side. D. Gordon, a base hit and a ground ball to second.
It's a call you want if you're a pitcher, and it's a call you hate if you're a hitter.
Runner at first, 2 outs. That's a good pitch. He really had Gordon reaching. They're going to go to second because it would have been close at first. That's a great call by Anthony Rendon. Marlins have stranded 3. They lead 1-0. 6th inning coming up.
The best seats in the house at the best price. You'll have access to on-field events and so much more. Memberships give you a year-round Nationals experience. Call the number on your screen or visit nationals.com/NatsPlus and join right now.
Marlins have a new pitcher for the top of the 6th.
All right.
The Nats have a first row that want to see some action here. Mike Barraclough against Escobar. Pardon me, Kyle against Escobar, Desmond, and Ramos. Escobar's had enough of that for this year.
Well, he stands right on the plate and he really dives and leans out over. And anything on the inner half, look where his back foot is, it's almost on the chalk. So if you throw any kind of two-seamer with any kind of run, the way he really leans out over, I mean, it's not really the pitcher's fault every time, right? But there's been some times when it's just absolutely gotten away from a pitcher.
And he'll serve one up the middle, and D. Gordon can't get it. Another multi-hit game for Yunel Escobar. Ties Bryce Harper with 44 on the year.
So we showed that stat before his last at-bat, 473 when leading off an inning. He led off the 4th with a base hit. Now he leads off the 6th with a base hit. By my math, he's hitting 728 with leading off an inning now.
Hey,
after his 2nd consecutive hit.
Don't sleep on this guy for giving a run for their money to Harper, Posey, Gordon, the only 3 guys ahead of him in the batting race.
Oh, all right.
And he's 2 for 3 tonight. Now Desmond has to move away from a pitch. He and Desmond 0 for 1 against Barraclough in the recent homestand.
So 322 now for you now.
Yeah.
It's so hard to move your average this late in the season, though, with so many at-bats. I mean, if you go 2 for 4, it usually stays the same or maybe goes up a point.
Yeah.
But on the other side of that, if you go 0 for 4, instead of it dropping 3, 6, 4, whatever, it just drops a point when you're this late. It really doesn't fluctuate. If you could explain it way better than I just did.
No, it's the number of at bats, and you get a hit, it goes up a point, basically. But you just don't have those big stock market fluctuations anymore.
Right.
And that's up and in, 2 balls, 1 strike.
So they're telling me 383 when leading off an inning now. That's cool.
Wow.
That's a good stat.
Yeah, and the on base percentage won't be much higher than that because he hacks his way on. He just doesn't take that many walks. 35 all year. Quick move, slow throw, and Escobar is going to go to second. That was kind of strange. Barraclough came off the rubber quickly, and then he just kind of goosed it over there. The Nats get a free 90 feet with nobody out.
He threw Justin Bohr a changeup is what he did. Watch. Just a short arm throw, and even though he threw him a changeup, that ball has to be caught. It didn't even hit the dirt. They called it E1, but Justin Bohr will be the first one to tell you he's got to catch that ball or at least keep it in front of him.
Yeah.
Especially in a 1-0 game.
Took Escobar a moment to find it. I'm sure Tony Tarasco helped him out. Nats out hit the Marlins 5-3. Desmond, right field and heading out of play. Nationals box score. Ramos leadoff single in the second. By the way, Worth and Harper had walked in the first but were stranded. Jason was at third with 1 out. 2 hits by Escobar and Ramos in the fourth, but the double play ball off Ian's bat negated that. Then Gio walked and Worth singled last inning. 6 runners stranded already. And Desmond high in the air. Ichiro's going to be over by the line. He's still got a great arm at 41. Escobar heading for third. The throw cut off, and it's a productive out by Ian Desmond.
Yeah, nice at bat by Ian Desmond. So the error gets Escobar to second. Ian Desmond gets Escobar to third. A deep enough fly ball to right. Like a bear claw cutter right there. Kind of ran away from Desmond, and Escobar deciding, should I tag? Yeah, I think I'm going to do this. And he sees the depth of it. Pretty good throw by Ichiro. I don't know why he didn't relay that. That could have been close.
Hey, and you never know these days when a guy's going to come off the bag.
Good point.
Infield in. Wilson Ramos 2 for 2. He's 0 for 1 against Barraclough.
Bear versus Buffalo. Go.
Buffalo bigger, Bear hungrier.
See.
Pretty good matchup here. 1-0. Big breaking ball, and Wilson pulled off it a bit. Counts even. 1-0 Marlins, top of the 6th. Mets have a 1-0 lead in the 4th at Atlanta. Matz and Whistler throwing down or up there from us tonight. And that's unreachable. Wilson, no chance to get to that breaker.
Yeah, pretty good slider. Wilson swinging because he's thinking about a fly ball to right.
Just got out there to get that one. Well, Gio's been pitching well. 1 run on 3 hits through 5. You'd like to reward him here by getting the game back even. Second time tonight the Nats have had a runner at third with 1 out. That time they were going to challenge Ramos, but it was upstairs 2-2.
Well, that's just a show me fastball up. If he chases, great. If he doesn't, you're going back to that slider away again.
Wilson sitting on 61 RBIs. That one too far out, and it's 3-2. Kyle Barraclough, Santa Clara, pitched at St. Mary's in California. Here's Mercedes-Benz, everything away in this AB. And Ramos got a pitch to work with, and boy does he work it. Out to right center. Escobar scores easily, and Wilson Ramos, RBI number 62, will tie it up.
Buffalo beats Bear. Having a good night. 2 for 2. Sac fly ties it at 1. Good at bat by Wilson Ramos. And maybe it was because it was a 3-2 count, but Barraclough, that's the first slider he left out over the plate for Ramos to hit. That was hanging, and Wilson took advantage. Every other slider was just teasing the outer half, breaking off the plate. That one right down the middle, and Wilson Ramos ready.
Michael A. Taylor now 2 outs, base is empty.
I mean, I think it all depends on what kind of bear versus what kind of buffalo.
Oh, yeah?
I mean, a grizzly bear's not losing to a buffalo, is it? Maybe a stampede.
Grizzly's as big as a buffalo.
That's true.
At least the ones at the San Diego Zoo are. I haven't seen them anywhere else.
I mean, it's really odd that we're talking about animals in this ballpark. Never happens.
Animals and art. I think it goes together beautifully. And Taylor high in the air. Right field side. Long run for Ichiro Suzuki. Bangs up against the wall, and the ball comes out.
Check it out. He went hard into the wall. I lost sight of him. Yeah. And he had it in his glove. It looks like he had a chance to catch that. And he hit the wall hard with his left shoulder.
Felipe Rivero for the Nats. Gio's only thrown 72 pitches. 42 strikes through 5. And you knew Michael A. Taylor was going to see a lot of breaking stuff in that AB. Nats tie it. Escobar the single, the air, the Ramos sac fly. Gio and Christian Yelich, bottom of the 6th, strike 1, a heater. So Wilson Ramos gets his battery mate back even. Yelich, Prado, Bohr here, 2-3-4 for the Fish. Going to the fastball a couple of times, taking a little bit off that one. Christian Yelich, a 4.63 double play ball and a 5.3 to Escobar, and we noticed on the double play ball not running anywhere near his usual speed, but evidently okay to hit. Good young ball player, still only 23. But some knee issues the last year or so. Pop up, that'll be out of play. I think the dugouts and the seats are as close to the lines in this ballpark as anywhere. So here's their box score. And the Marlins have their run on an Ozuna ground ball out after the Prado walk and the Boer single in the 4th inning. Gio's been very good. Fastball down under his hands, and Yelich able to foul it.
Speaking of very good, Jake Arrieta won his 19th game tonight. Is he in the mix for Cy Young with Zach Greinke?
Absolutely.
I think so.
There's Brian Morris, who usually pitches later in the game, setting things up for their closer, A.J. Ramos. Gio goes with a hook and misses. Arrieta 19, Madison Bumgarner 17 wins. Cole, Greinke 16.
Gio putting on a nice show for the home folks. Hialeah in the house. I think the first time he came to Marlins Park as an ad, didn't he leave like 3,000 tickets or something?
Yeah, I think.
Number.
Yeah, half the town came, and the racetrack.
Right. Jockeys, everything.
Yelich with a nice swing. He'll serve one to left field. Christian Yelich 1 for 3.
That's a nice piece of hitting, just a fastball away, goes with it. So leadoff man here on the 6th, and does Dan Jennings get creative here offensively in a 1-to-1 game? You can bunt Prado, even though he's hitting 3rd tonight. He's a guy that can handle the bat.
Yeah.
Gio's throwing strikes, so if you're thinking about a hit and run, maybe in a 1-0 count or a 2-0 count, that's why you're throwing over right there to see what's up.
Yeah, I think Martin Prado, he'd be my primary hit and run guy. Uses the field.
Long look at the sign. It's kind of a tip for you younger coaches out there. If you're trying to pick signs from another team, sometimes you don't get it from the third base coach. You get it from the hitter when they normally don't look down there for a sign very long, and all of a sudden they're really taking a long look. They can tip that something's on more than the third base coach is stealing his sign.
Gio misses away, 2-0.
This is where you do it if you're going to do it. Lenny Harris looking in to get a sign from Dan Jennings. Now he's putting one on.
So you saw Blake Trinan. A couple of hitters away, though, is Ozuna. Boer a lefty next. And Gio gets in the strike zone, 2-1. One ball game. The Nats this week have had trouble with the shutdown inning right after they score. That's in the dirt off speed, 3-1. Wow. And Gio's really upset. Thought he had a strike to fill the count. 2 on, nobody out. He goes for a long walk.
Yeah, he kicked some dirt, turned his back on the home plate umpire, Ron Culpa. You see the reaction before he gets the ball back from Wilson Ramos. Frustrated, and Steve McCatty going to come out and try to reset Gio Gonzalez after that walk to Martin Prado.
Gio has 3 walks tonight, all to the same batter. So danger awaits in the left-handed power guy, Justin Bour.
Yeah, he's asking about that pitch right there. I need that pitch. Was that down? You've called that before tonight. It's right where I wanted it. I got to turn the page and get back in that zone and get a big out here in Justin Bour.
And that ball is scorched out to center. Taylor running it down. Back to tag is Yelich. And because the Nats missed the cutoff man, no chance for a throw to third.
Yeah, Yelich was fooled on this. He was about 7-8 steps off the base. He might have left early. We'll see if the Nats appeal it. I think Ian Desmond is waving for the ball right now at second base. But look at Yelich. He starts going the other way. Michael Taylor does a nice job of corralling this ball. But then the throw high to Ian Desmond. And if Ian Desmond gets this ball, Yelich is out. Watch how late Yelich gets back. Might be hard for reference right there, but they had him at third. Had Taylor hit the cutoff man.
Gio's done. Hardest hit ball of the night that was by maybe anybody in this game. So first and third, 1 out. Blake Trinan coming in to face Marcell Ozuna. There was a base hit, a walk in the inning. The hook came quickly with the right-handed batter coming up, and Gio goes 5 1/3 tonight on 4 hits. Blake Trinan will take over. Another guy trying to forget that nightmare against the Mets on Tuesday. Got to come in, throw some strikes here.
A 49th appearance. League hitting .268. Lefties .347. Righties .202. Pretty good runner in the batter's box. It's going to take a hard ground ball at somebody to turn the double play, but with nobody out.
Yeah, Ozuna got that done on a slow roller 2 innings ago. This one hit a little harder. Have to hurry. Rendon turns it. 6-4-3. And Blake Trinan, when he's going well, his forte is getting the ground ball. Double play, 7th inning coming up. And just like that, this game remains tied. Moore, the pitcher spot, and then Worth, top 7.
Throws one pitch, gets a double play. Watch the nifty turn by Ian Desmond. Ball not hit hard, he gets rid of it quick. Anthony Rendon gets rid of it quick. So a guy with speed didn't hit the ball as hard as you would have liked for the double play, but the two guys up the middle turn it flawlessly. And I errantly said there was nobody out because I looked at the Marlins scoreboard instead of our bug. It said one out, and that was a huge double play. Gio Gonzalez on the top step, giving everybody some props, and a nice pitch by Blake Trinan, and a huge double play in this game as we go to the top of the 7th.
Yeah, Gio gets a no decision, but he could have been hung with a loss there. Blake Trinan takes care of his biz. Brian Morris, he's been a setup guy for the Marlins most of the year.
A fastball averages 95, slider and a cutter to go with it. Slider 84, cutter 89.
So Tyler Moore leads off. He has hit a fly ball to center, one to left. Matt Dendecker on deck. Ripped by Tyler Moore to left. Third at bat, first hit of the night, and as a starter, Tyler batting around 240 this year.
You pinch run for him right here with Trey Turner. We'll see. You'd think Matt Dendecker would be bunting in this situation. Tie ball game, top of the 7th, getting late. Beautiful swing by Tyler Moore. Bullet to left field. Leadoff man here in the 7th. And we'll see how Matt Williams decides to play this.
Dendecker is 1 for 1 against the Miami right-hander. And Matt, who's had some great at-bats lately. Pinch hitter extraordinaire. 4 for 10 this year with a home run and 2 batted in the pinch. Casey Jansen next after the Nats hit for Blake Trinan here. And this ball high in the air out to left. Christian Yelich for the first out. Left-hander Mike Dunn. Top of the order, Jason Worth. 2 for 4 career against Morris. 20-game on-base streak for the Nats leadoff guy. Hitting .313 over that time. So add the 11 bases on balls, and that on-base percentage solid, well up over .350. Front door breaking ball 89 on the edge. And his base hit in the 5th inning got that stat to that level. 11 of 12, also a base on balls tonight. Guided it perfectly to right field last time up.
He didn't like that call either. He just joined the Casey McGee Not a Fan of Ron Culpa club.
And the low pitch evens things up 2-2. Target inward, and Worth able to fight it. And that one's popped up. Big, slow rolling breaking ball. D. Gordon takes it for the second out. Anthony Rendon now.
Nats fans, be sure to get your tickets right now to Nationals Winterfest. We're in Miami. We're the exact opposite of winter right now. But December 12th and 13th at the Walter E. Washington Convention Center, you can meet and take photos with your favorite Nats player. You can sit on the couch with Bob and I if we're invited. You can take a picture with Santa and more. So call 202-675-NATS or visit nationals.com/NatsWinterfest. All right.
It was Sweatfest here today.
Yes. The heat miser was here.
Ooh. I mean, mid-90s and humidity way up there. Anthony Rendon, 2 ground balls to fly to right. He's 0 for 3. 0 for 2 career against Morris, who has Bryce Harper on deck. So if the inning continues, they would have Mike Dunn ready for Bryce. Two and two. And Anthony hits one right over the mound, almost hit the second base bag, and it'll be 2 on, 2 out with Mike Dunn coming in to face Bryce Harper. You would think.
Nice piece of hitting by Anthony Rendon, going right back up the middle, and now the go-ahead run on second base in the form of Tyler Moore.
Dan Jennings finally coming out. So 2 outs, but 2 hits by Brian Morris. Mike Dunn can bring it. Bryce Harper can bring it. He's 2 for 16 career against him with a home run. Here in the 7th, but first Who is hot?
Who's hot, who's not? Bryce Harper's hot. Most career multi-home run games before age 23. 9. He's got 4 this year. So that's pretty good. 91 career homers.
Quite a list. Celebrate this season with the American Standard All-Star Sales Event. Visit midatlanticcomfort.com for amazing rebate and financing opportunities.
I see the arsenal for Mike Dunn. Fastball averages 95, slider 87. So 2-pitch guy. 64th appearance for Dunn. And what are lefties hitting off him? 210.
He's always been one of the busiest relievers. He's gone over 70 appearances 3 times in his career for Miami, and he'll make it again this year. So Bryce, 2 career hits against him with a solo home run. Tyler Moore and Rendon, second and first. Don't fall behind. Softball numbers.
So that's on balls put into play, because right there he fouls the ball off, so it stays at 7:06, correct?
Yes.
Might have been the worst question ever, but I had to ask it. I mean, I'd come up with the worst one. We'll figure it out. He likes this count too. It's not 7:05 though. That's just ridiculous.
Big gap in left center. Even though a lefty-lefty matchup. And Harper takes one on the inside edge. And there's that part of the plate that's been a strike all night.
This is where at times we've seen Bryce with 2 strikes against lefties this year use the whole field and go to that spray line drive swing to left.
And you might notice the Marlins with a left-hander on the mound, they do not leave shortstop open. And Harper can't get 95 upstairs. Now the Nats have stranded 8 base runners in 7 innings. Bullpen's going to have to keep it tied. We arrive at the Hyundai 7th inning stretch. From South Beach to Little Havana. Entertainment to the baseball park. In Miami, it's all tied 1-1, 6.5 in.
Alexandria 1-1. This one's all tied up as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Wilson Ramos, a couple of base hits, a sac fly. He's having a nice night. Yunel Escobar, 44th multi-hit game. And Gio Gonzalez did a nice job giving up just 1 run through 5 1/3. Struck out 4.
Right back here with you tomorrow night from Marlins Park. Jose Fernandez strained a biceps muscle. He's been on the DL for a while. He will come back and pitch tomorrow night. And for the Nats, Tanner Roark. And Tanner in his career against the Marlins 2-2 with a 2.14 ERA in 10 career appearances. He's 4-4 this year. We'll get you going with Nats Extra 6:30. First pitch from South Florida 7:05. Here's Casey Jansen. Marlins have 6, 7, 8 due up.
Excuse me, Carp. 2-seam fastball, cut the fastball, curveball changeup to complement it.
Real Muto the catcher, then Ichiro, then Miguel Rojas scheduled. And a fastball that was riding up in the zone, fouled back. Real Muto faces Casey for the first time. 4.93 ERA in 41 appearances.
Is that you whistling?
Somebody's got a good whistle going out there.
Caught a cleat. Do over.
Got the first one in there, now missing 3 in a row. Ball lashed into the left field corner. Fell behind, left to pitch up, and Real Muto hit that ball really hard. Leadoff double, lead run aboard 7th inning.
Well, when you fall behind, guys are going to be on your fastball. And, you know, Casey Jansen, I think of all the Nats pitchers, has to work ahead. I mean, you get behind 3-1. You know, he doesn't have the overpowering fastball. He has to live on deception and corners. And when you fall behind, you have to throw a strike because you can't walk the leadoff man in a tie game. You lay one in there, and JT Realmuto ready for it.
Casey Jansen and Ichiro know each other from the American League. Ichiro 2 for 12 against him.
Do you bunt 7 to get to 8?
Yeah.
That's the question here.
Well, you know you're going to pinch hit for the pitcher. They have one really good left-handed bat on the bench in Derek Dietrich. Ichiro just not collecting hits, not driving in runs. He's had a lot of opportunities lately. Bunts it in the air. It's going to check up. A play at third. And that's not a forced play. It's a tag play. And it's first and third, nobody out. Casey Jansen went to third base and really had no chance to get Real Muto, a catcher who runs very well.
Well, I think Casey Jansen was thinking since the ball was popped up, he had a play at third base, but for some reason, Yunel Escobar didn't put a tag on JT Realmuto. And it wasn't a force out. And maybe Escobar just felt like Realmuto was going to be safe all the way.
Runners at the corners, nobody out. Miguel Rojas, the hitter.
I mean, in Real Muto's credit, usually on a ball popped up as a base runner, you have to hold till you see it down. He saw a lot of space there. Even the ball was up in the air. He knew it was going to land on the grass, and he took off.
Rojas, actually a 1 for 2. Fly ball to center in the third, base hit to right in the fifth. And they do have Derek Dietrich up in the on deck circle. He's really their only true left-handed batter. They have a switch-hitting third catcher, Tomas Taillise, who they just called up.
And bring in Rivera to face him, and then Dan Jennings might just burn him and go with the righty against Rivera based on what happens right here.
0-2 pitch. Right field, here comes Bryce. He'll slide. Runner tags, comes home. The throw way up the line. And the Marlins lead 2-1.
We'll give JT Realmuto a lot of credit for running the base as well there. I mean, he advanced on the bunt to third, and that's not an easy read for any base runner. Play should have gone to first, not to third base. And then now the sac fly here on the inside out swing by Rojas, and then watch Bryce Harper go to a slide. Pretty close on the tag up at third. You can see that one again and see if he left a little bit early, but I think the point doesn't matter anymore as Matt Williams makes the pitching change, and he would have been alerted if everybody thought that he left early.
Felipe Rivero next up for the Nats to face Dietrich or a pinch hitter.
Things here, a lot of stuff going on. So Real Muto with a good read at the top of the screen. Watch Yunel Escobar, he's in, right? Let me clear these. Watch those two guys. So Escobar might have had a chance to catch this had he just kept coming. He decides to retreat to the bag, and then Jansen picks up the ball and throws it to third. But Casey had his back to the plate. There's no way he knows where the base runner is right there, and that's where communication becomes key. So when my back is to the plate, what do? Well, I let my catcher tell me what to do with the baseball. And I don't know if Wilson Ramos was saying 3-3-3 right there. I don't know if he was saying 1-1-1. But he's the one that had the play in front of him, just like that angle we just showed you at home. That's the view Wilson Ramos had, obviously not as high, but from field level. So he's the eyes right there, the whole deal. What he says goes, and where the pitcher throws it is usually based on what the catcher says. I can't hear from up here. I don't know what he said, but the play should have gone to first. Or
As it is, only one out in the inning.
Or Escobar comes in and catches it in the air, or he puts a tag on. All those things could have happened. They didn't.
Marlins stay with Dietrich, adds the pinch hitter. He's 0 for 1 career against Rivero. And Felipe spins a good breaking ball to the outside edge. Flat-footed throw over there, and he had some mustard on that one. Right-hander Brian Ellington next for the Marlins. To Desmond. A lot of heat on that ball, backed him up a bit, and out on a close play at first. The Nats turn their third double play of the night. See if the Marlins decide to have a look at this. They're not ready to let the inning end just yet. Dugout coach Mike Goff, manager Dan Jennings. It's a double play for the Nats, and the 7th inning is over. So Ian Desmond turns it well, but a double off Casey Jansen by Real Muto turns into a run. They've been given a couple of walks and have stranded 8 base runners. Freight rail works with the do-ups, and what they've done late in ball games this year, starting with Escobar, then to Ian Desmond, and then Wilson Ramos. So where the batting averages aren't that high, other than Escobar's, there's still damage.
You see the arsenal for Brian Ellington. Fastball, a good one, 97 miles an hour. Curveball change to go with it. Curveball averages 81, 15th appearance for Ellington. And you see the 8 walks versus 14 strikeouts. You see something like that, you tell yourself you got to make him throw strikes, and guess who's leading off the inning? 383 when leading off an inning, Yunel Escobar.
Yeah, 3rd time he leads off tonight, and he's 2 for 2. Fastball sails high.
As a player, when you see a young call-up in September and he's throwing 97, 98, you tell yourself there's a reason he wasn't in the big leagues all season long, and that reason probably is he struggles with command at an early age. So whenever you see call-ups and throw hard, you got to make him throw strikes.
Escobar swings on 2-0. Rojas throws him out. First out, 8th inning. The Nats are down to their final 5 outs. Every time the Nats hit a home run this year, and they've done it 151 times, $250 to the Children's National Health System. It's a great cause from Lexus, the pursuit of perfection. Ian Desmond won at bat against Ellington when they met in D.C. and he walked him. Ian 0 for 3 tonight. Eric Cordier, the righty. Rodel Lazo, the lefty.
Just missed.
Ian coming off a 4 for 11 series against the Mets. Big time hack on 2-1. Breaking ball got away.
Big pitch coming. 1-run game. You got a guy that can steal a base. Also got a guy that can run into one if it's a strike.
And a 3-2 pitch is popped up. Foul ground, Justin Bour. 2 outs.
The most popular way to follow the action of the Washington Nationals baseball team is with MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball. Enjoy live look-ins, highlights, replay reviews, scores, StatCast, live radio broadcasts, and more. Get the MLB.com at bat app now. Visit MLB.tv today.
Wilson Ramos, a perfect night at the plate. 2 singles and a sac fly for the only run. He's made it to 100 hits with those 2. Hasn't been a strike all night, and Ellington thought he had one on the edge.
Well, this is where if you're Wilson Ramos and you're thinking about tying the game up, your best chance is toward the Marlins bullpen in right field. It looks like Ellington's going to stay away with that fastball, and the ball actually carries better here to right than it does to left.
And Ramos into right. It'll back Ichiro up to the track. And he's got it. 1, 2, 3. Go the Nats in the 8th inning. 2-1 Miami. It is getting very late. Nationals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the expressed written consent of the Washington Nationals. 2-1 Marlins over the Nats. Bottom of the 8th coming up. Felipe Rivero stays in the game because Gordon and Yelich are the first two left-handed batters. And right after the game, Johnny Holiday and Ray Knight have Nats Extra Post Game presented by W.B. Mason. Hot shot to short. Desmond right there. D. Gordon is 1 for 4.
I mean, Desmond knew even after he fielded that ball, he had to get up quick because D. Gordon can fly, even though Gordon hit the ball hard. Nice play. All right, we got the T-Mobile fan photo for you. You've been waiting for it all night long. Will Ham and his poodle, Maggie. All right. Appreciate that.
I think his poodle Eggs would have been a great call there. Christian Yelich 1 for 3, base hit to left last time. That was against Gio back in the 6th. Another one for Ian Desmond, this time from behind the bag, 2 outs. Not a lot of strikeouts in this one tonight. Gio had 4. Every time that happens, $37 to the Children's Inn at the National Institutes of Health. That's thanks to our Washington area Toyota dealers and their Toyota K's for Kids. Well, here's Rivero staying in to face the right-hander Martin Prado. Strike 1. A.J. Ramos is their sometimes all over the place closer. But he's got a great arm. He can make people swing and miss. Not bad. 25 saves for a ball club with 59 wins since the departure of Steve Cishek. Ian Desmond, a busy shortstop this inning, handles everything perfectly, and this ball game into the top of the 9th. Taylor, Moore, and the pitcher spot. The Nats have to get this rally going. above and beyond. And by Night Point Systems, they offer the technology you need when you need it. From the bright colors of South Beach to the bright colors of Marlins Park. And the Nats, after rally at last report, the Mets were still ahead of the Braves 2-1, 6th inning, and here's A.J. Ramos.
Yeah, pretty good slider from Ramos. Decent fastball, low to mid 90s, 64th appearance. ERA at 2.61. You see the save opportunities. There's been 6 blown saves in there. He's 25 for 31, and opponents hitting 189 against the Marlins right-handed closer.
First up, Michael A. Taylor, who's 0 for 1 against him career. And a rough night for Michael. 3 swinging strikeouts. Just flipping sliders down and away.
Yeah,
first pitch heater, it's in the top of the zone.
He's playing hurt, though. He hasn't been able to balance on his legs all night. You could just tell that knee's hurting just by the way he's coming off it, even before he swings.
So Ramos goes fastball changeup.
See the right knee, how bandaged it is, and you know, he's got all kinds of stuff going on that right knee, and when it's your back leg and that's the one you balance the most, and kind of ride on that back leg, he's having trouble staying on it. You can just tell by the way he took that pitch.
And Taylor to right, pretty well hit. They're playing deep though. Ichiro at the edge of the track. Tyler Moore and Dan Uggla, the next 2 hitters. Moore against Ramos, 0 for 5. And that second front door breaking ball is in there.
I don't know if you want to challenge a guy with some pop with that slider on the inner half. I think he wanted it there. That's where he'd like it.
Cutting that one away at 90. Tyler Moore strikes out, 2 down.
So this one looked like the sinker with 2 strikes. Maybe a little cut to it at 86. Or maybe it was just a slider that didn't do a whole lot. Either way, it worked for Ramos.
And here's where you miss Clint Robinson. Not with the ball club. That's short, a left-handed bat off the bench, so Dan Uggla gets the call. And against Ramos' career, 1 for 10. Jason Worth waiting. Hitters count 2-0. And Uggla will just foul one down the third base side. Inside corner. It's been a strike from the first inning. Tanner Roark tomorrow night and Jose Fernandez for the Marlins. Defensive swing by Dan Uggla to stay alive.
This is where if you're Dan Uggla, even though you got 2 strikes, you're still trying to shoot one out of here and tie this ball game up. Don't take anything out of your swing. If you get a pitch out over, let it rip.
Good take on the off speed.
He gets on, Trey Turner gets on. So this is a big pitch. You'd think Trey Turner would run for Uggla and try to steal second.
Close, and it's ball 4. And yeah, that hasn't been where the strikes are tonight.
And here comes Trey Turner. Here he comes. There he is. And he's fast. Good at bat by Dan Uggla. Keeping this one alive by a thread.
Well, in this ballpark, a gap or even in a no doubles defensive configuration, it would be hard to keep Turner from scoring.
Little median on the mound. What do you want to do right here? This guy at first is really fast. He's probably going to steal. We got to keep him close.
You think they'll run him?
I mean, that's why you put him in, right? He's one of the fastest guys in the league. You'd think somewhere in the sequence he's going to try to steal second base. I mean, you're down to your last out. This is not a ballpark where you can hit a home run and make it 3-2 in one swing. So you have to manufacture in these big ballparks. And he's fast, so we'll see him. I think he's got to go early, actually.
Breaking ball drops in. Jason Worth is 0 for 7 career with a couple of walks and an RBI against A.J. Ramos. And Jason Worth will lift one to left, but he didn't get it. And the Nats will drop the first one in Miami. The first of the road trip, and lose it 2-1.
And check out our Miller moment. We promised you earlier in the game. It's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. You have to go back to the 7th inning. A leadoff double by JT Realmuto. Ichiro up. And probably the play of the game right here, the bunt in a 1-1 game. Little things are huge things. Kind of a slow motion play right there. Realmuto gets to third, then Rojas with the sac fly to right. Realmuto scores, and that's the ball game. 2-1 Marlins.
Now the Nats are just 2 games over 500. They've lost their 4th in a row, Miami, and we'll be back with more in a moment.